few years ago, real early in this whole YouTube journey for me, one of my very early videos, I did a comparison video of cleaning up yellowed headlights with either one of those restoration kits, headlight restoration kits you can buy. I think it was from Turtle Wax. You can buy at your local parts store, or something as simple and easy as a tube of toothpaste. And I showed in that video, I think the toothpaste works just as good to get rid of that cloudy yellow headlight. And you can do it on a budget, like a super cheap, like dollar store toothpaste. However, as some pointed out, and it's true, it won't stay that way because the whole reason they yellowed in the first place is over time, the sun and wear and tear on the finish of the headlight, it wears off its UV protection, and that sun, the UV damage it turns it yellow. So by polishing that yellow surface back off and all those little scratches and cracks back off, that does turn it clear or clearer anyway, but it takes even more. If there wasn't any UV protection left, it does take the rest of it off. It doesn't leave you any protection. So I'm going to show you how to do it. Well, some might say, quote unquote, the right way. I don't know if the way I'll do it is exactly the right way, but how to do it where you can maintain this for much longer. I have the headlights for the Silverado here. They're pretty yellow. I have them outside the truck. You can do this on your vehicle. You don't have to remove the headlights, but if you can, if it's fairly easy to do, the very last step here makes it a little easier, and partly because it's a little congested in the shop today and I can't get the whole truck in here, and it's way too flippin' hot outside to do this outside. So we're gonna do it inside the climate controlled shop. So let's dig in. This one's much more yellowed than this one is. You can see on this one, I think anyway, I don't know how well that shows up, but it's yellowed much more on top, and it fades kind of to a little bit more clear on the bottom, and this one is very, very yellowed. They kind of yellow from top down as that sun bakes it from up high, right? So, but we'll set that one off. We'll clean up the worst of the two. First thing you want to do is clean it. We're going to put some sandpaper on it. It's pretty fine grit sandpaper, but since it's real fine, it'll clog up real fast. So I want to take some window cleaner or something, maybe some degreaser, and just clean this up. So if you have some alcohol-based window cleaner, a spray away glass cleaner works really good, but that can was empty, so I got to get some more. But this is good enough. This will take, just kind of get, if there's any bugs or, you're going to sand it anyway. But if you've got too many contaminants on there, then you can end up making bigger scratches by pushing those around, and then you got to sand even more. But also, they'll start clogging your sandpaper. We'll get our water. Okay, now we're just gonna get after this. So I start with, you can start with like a 400. If it's really, really bad, you might start with a little bit lower, but I'm gonna go with a P400. And I like to wet sand these. You don't have to. You can dry sand, you can wet sand. It's all kind of the same thing. The wet sanding, you need different paper. These foam blocks I got are super nice. I'll put a link down to these. I really like them. And you can, but it keeps the mess down a little bit. It makes kind of a watery mess, but it you don't create as much dust that way. And you can just spray water on the pad and rinse it back off. So you can see all the yellow here. As we're going to start to sand, the water is going to turn a yellowy color. That's that yellow coming off. That's what you want. We're just going to keep going on this, kind of do the edges. It gets real bad on the edges. Now, one of the things you're going to see in here, I don't know if you'll see it on camera, but you'll see it in person. There's going to be a bunch of little micro cracks inside the plastic. Some of those are actually on the inside from heat. Some of them are on the outside, and you may be able to feel them and they go all the way through. There's nothing you can do about those. If this has gone this bad, then those you're just gonna have to live with. I've never found a way to get those out. Most of the time, if you get this clean enough, you don't even notice them though. So after a little bit, give it another rinse, and I will wipe this off a bit. Look at that, it's already clearing up. And then give it another coat of fresh water. So we're not still, that way we can see, still getting a little bit of yellow in there. When it starts to turn clear or white, then we're through that yellowy stuff. Now, if you've got kind of imperfections, like it almost looks like on your car, it would look like the clear coat's cracking. That's actually can be true in these. There is a protection film they put on these, a UV protection from the factory, and it fades over time. So you got to get all that off. So as you sand, you might start to see a little bit of geography to the surface. Keep sanding until it is all the same. It will be cloudy. That's okay. You're not trying to get it not cloudy. You're trying to get it not textured. Like visible texture. So when you whiteboard with a cloth, wet cloth, sometimes you'll see little splotches of film. So I'm gonna clean this off a little bit here, get some of the yellowy stuff off. And then now we're getting there. So this first round of sanding is to get all of the yellow off, all of the texture off, all of the UV film off. You're really getting that. You're taking a lot more material off. Get it so that it's smooth. So now we're going to step up sandpaper to get rid of the scratches. So we'll go from 400 to 600. And so now we're less concerned about trying to get stuff off the headlight as we are just trying to get out all those fine scratches. We want to make the scratches smaller. It's like we're not going to go like we would on a car when we're trying to buff and cut and polish a car finish, where you would go, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, and then to polish. You can do that. And just like a finish on a car, these will shine right up, but they won't last. And they'll fade again real quick because that plastic just does not tolerate, especially down here in the south, we get a lot of sun. We're going to put some protection on them, and that protection is a spray-on clear coat. So that clear coat needs a surface to bind to that's a little bit roughed up. All right, so that's 600, and you could stop right here, and a lot of people do. I like to go one more round. I like to go up to 800. And some will say you shouldn't do that because it makes it hard for the clear coat to stick, and some will say it's fine, or go to 1,000 even. This is just like where I do it. So, and I've done a few of these, and that seems to be what works out best for me. So even with just sanding, when you spray it and it looks wet, it's going to look a lot like it's going to look when it's clear. Not as good, but that'll give you an indicator, like, okay, so when you spray it down and then wipe it off, get all the sanding liquid off, and give it a good, pour some water on it. That'll kind of give you a little bit of an indicator what it's going to look like, because that fills in some of the cracks. It doesn't do it as good as the clear coat does. Refracts light a little differently. That's hard to say. Okay, that's it. Wipe it down with a dry towel, a clean dry towel. So that one's wet and full of plastic residue. And then I'm gonna wipe it down with some alcohol, just to get all of, like, my handprints and any last layer of dust and oils and whatever. And this I just take some rubbing alcohol. There's nothing fancy. A towel, paper towel is fine. That just takes off all of the rest of the stuff. And I don't go touching the top now. Just undo everything you just did. There. Now we'll go throw some clear on it. Okay, now once you've got it all sanded and ready to go, it's sitting over, I got it in a box in my professional paint booth. And next I'm gonna throw some 2K clear coat on it. Reason for this is this will then protect it. That it would give it that UV protection. It'll give it some rock protection. It's a little harder with the two-part epoxy kind of base, and make it last a really long time. So the way these work is pop this top off, and there's a push pin thing here, this button that goes on the bottom, and then you push real hard till it breaks a seal. and then shake it up. So that breaks like a bladder in there that releases the hardener. Now you gotta mix it all up. So you go shake this for 2 or 3 minutes, and then we'll get over to spraying. Now, once you pop that, you've got it starts a clock. This isn't good forever. It's actually only good for maybe 48 to 72 hours. I don't know if it says on there, but so we're just gonna do a quick light coat, and then we'll come back with a heavier coat. Let's make sure we got decent spray here. Yep. That's it. See already how bright that is versus what it was before. So we'll give that about 5 minutes or so, and we'll come back and give it a second coat. All right, now that's been about 5 minutes or so. It's gotten a little tacky, and we'll hit it with a second coat. I'm only going to do 2 coats. I'm not going to do a ton here. There. That's all I'm going to do. That's it. That's two coats, and I'm going to be done. We'll let this dry. And before you want to handle it, you want to let it dry like really good. So I'm probably going to, this is mid-afternoon. I will probably wait till morning to install these. So give it a 12-hour or 24-hour cure time, and you'll be good to go. That's pretty clean. So let's get the other one here. This one got, I said when I painted this one got a little orange peely. It's actually not bad though. I think what I'm seeing is still the little micro scratches in the plastic itself, but compared to what they were, let's get it back on the truck, so we look like. All right, let's get these set up here. I also have a new grill, well, new to me. The chrome was peeling real bad on the old one, so I picked up one off Marketplace. It's not perfect. It's got some scratches in it, but at least it's all intact. It's got a big scratch right there that might polish out. Some bug chips, but the other one had so much chrome peeling, it just looked terrible. So downside with this one is it doesn't have the emblem. Just noticed it has the hooks for the different style. I had one of those in my hand at the scrapyard today, and I let it go. It's off an Avalanche. I'm gonna go back and see if I can get that one. So this, because mine has the 3 posts on it, and the one I pulled off that Avalanche had clips that go in here, and I just didn't even pay attention to whether or not I had both connections. This one also doesn't have the recess like mine does. I wonder if different years, but let's see if it'll work. Let's get this headlight put back on. Oh, you dummy. How about put the headlights in, the bulbs in? There we go. Let's try that. See if that fits a little better. Where's the other doodad? There it is. Lock that in. And then put this back in place. I still got to come up with an emblem, but that does open up some other possibilities because it just has to fit the contour. These all have a different curve to them, and so there's like 100 different emblems for GM vehicles in the 2000s. So all right, let's see how this looks. There we go. Ain't bad. So I didn't do the running lights. I don't have fog lights. This is a base truck, so, but it looks a lot nicer, and so does the grill. So I just gotta find an emblem, and we'll be good to go. So it's really, I mean, it's not that much work. I have that sandpaper kit for a whole bunch of pieces of sandpaper, and you'll have a bunch left over. It was like 10 bucks. And I think the clear coat was 25, somewhere in the 20s. So let's say 30 just to be conservative. So we're at 40 bucks. Just one of these headlights, I think, runs around 90 bucks. I've seen them. You can buy them like eBay or whatever. You get them a little cheaper. Maybe you get a pair for 100. So you're still saving money. But that's on these. Throughout the eras of Silverados, they all had different headlights in different generations, but they made a million of these trucks. So there's a lot of headlights out there. The market's pretty available, so it keeps the price down. So this is maybe one of the cheaper headlights you're gonna get. For a different kind of car, for a little bit limited run vehicle, or a different kind of headlight, like some of the bigger housings that have all the headlights in one, they're a lot more expensive. Some of them can be, you know, $150 to $200 a piece, maybe more. So this saves you a ton of money, and you still get it basically a nice new looking headlight, and it's going to stay this way for 10 years, 20 years. It'll last. And since I'm trying to sell this truck, man, that does, just appearance wise, it makes all the difference in the world, right? Nice, clean looking headlight. You don't really notice when the headlights look good, but you notice them when they look bad. And for a little bit of elbow grease and half a day, and we make a huge difference. So I hope you learned a little something. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.